Happy New Year, everybody. This is Howard Nema and Vinny Bdatruth, and we have a guest today, Tighe.
Hey!
Joining us for this edition of We Are Change. A lot of propaganda about 2012, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, we talked about that the other day, touching
Yeah.
on the whole, really, Federal Reserve, December 21st, 2012 thing. Not really the Mayan, but then the Federal Reserve more.
It's funny how they all can join at the same spot, though.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's set up that way. I mean, it's designed implosion of the banking system, which will lead to some form of new currency and loss of sovereignty because of the debt, which is going to be overwhelming to pay. It's really an incredible situation. So yeah, this really has been a year in tyranny. I mean, we do have multitudes of information of major events, some of which are just outright major events that we'd all know about, but unlike the mainstream media that would highlight, you know, well, Elizabeth Taylor died and so died and this person died
Amy Winehouse.
and you know, Amy Winehouse died and
Did she die like twice?
yeah, probably. And all of this other stuff where it's just, you know, and not saying, you know, the real tyranny that's been going on, that Obama's continuing to have wars that are not declared by Congress and all sorts of other things that are clamping down on society, which we're going to go into in detail. So again, Tighe is actually a good friend and does the voice on our opening segment. So just for anyone out there, so that's
I do a voice.
He does the voice. He's the voice of We Are Change. And so what do you think about 2012? This upcoming New Year's Eve.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of things. It could be the change. This next year could be biblically.
Yeah.
I'm just taking all the information, trying to process it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
there's
right.
a lot out there.
Isn't it amazing how like every day these articles just like keep coming up and all this different stuff like
Yeah, we got a good list of all the tyranny from throughout the year.
it's incredible. So let's start by I don't know. Let's I don't know. You wanna give a stab at some stuff there that you have jotted down?
Yeah, since
Vin?
we're talking about tyranny, and we all know about bloodlines and people. You had the famous bloodline marriage with Harry and Kate.
Oh
there.
yes, the Saxe Cobra Gotha family.
That was,
Yes,
big news.
Gotha.
Gotha. Yes, yes.
Gotha, who
That's
cares?
right. They're Germans. You see,
Limey
they're actually
bastards.
Nazis. Believe it or not. Yes, the royal family are Nazis. Prince Philip is a eugenist Nazi. His cousin Prince Bernard of the Netherlands, and their Queen Beatrice, who owns Shell Oil, owns most of the oil in the world. It's just
So
like
that-
the only real rival to Rockefeller is Queen Beatrice of the Netherlands.
So you had, that was Princess Diana's son with
Right.
William,
That's right.
and they had the son Henry, and he marries this woman Kate Middleton in April 29th. So, I mean, that's the bloodline. And then there was a lot of exposure this year. You know, when going over 2011, you had a lot of government officials, like you had Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor of Detroit, sex scandal, text messages. You had David Wu, which was the guy dressing up in tiger suits and all types of crazy pictures, sending people. He's from Oregon, their House of Representatives. The most famous was Anthony
I think
Weiner.
I missed that, but
Anthony Weiner.
Yeah,
That's
because
funny.
everybody went to Anthony Weiner. Nobody wanted to get with David Wu, but
David Wu.
David Wu was one of them. And,
Nice.
and the Weiner thing was big with the Twitter pictures of
Oh,
himself
yeah,
posing. And
Yeah.
I remember hearing a statistic.
I wonder if he
like-
went to Bohemian Grove. Oh no, he's a Democrat. He wasn't. No, that's for
Oh
Republicans.
no, that's
That's for
Black
Republicans.
Mass and all kinds of stuff.
they like little boys there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you never know. You know, these people are sick. You know, that's the whole
And
thing.
yeah, and then we had who else? You had the famous IMF president over there, Dominique Strauss-Kahn. That was the big one. You know,
Yep,
president of
with the
IMF.
maid. Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
that whole thing. Got
That was
like-
where he was going to be running.
And he
for,
pretty much got off of it, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got off.
completely
He
got off.
He
He
ruined
did.
his political career. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
he
I
was
don't
running
necessarily
president.
think so, because you know what? Next 2 years, nobody's going to remember that crap. He can go right back
It
into
was
it.
to stop
Maybe.
him from becoming president.
Yeah, it was. I definitely believe that as well. Yeah.
So you think it was set up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I think.
I have no doubt that he
I don't mean
tried
set up
mess
so
with
much to
this
the point
girl.
as like the fact that
I'm
they
sure
went
he's done
after
that his whole
him.
life and never got
They
in
went
trouble.
after him.
Right.
You know, this is
He's the head of the IMF Bank. He is running for the president of France against Sarkozy, the key globalist. They love him. You know, he is their boy.
Illuminati boy.
He is their boy, right? So
then-
they weren't going to let they weren't going to stand for that. So they figured out a way to do it, you know, and let this girl come on to him, maybe, you know, screw him, you know, make him, and just like he said, you know, like and just like it really, like he said, happened, and make out, oh, she raped me, and
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
That happens in everyday life.
Actually, it does. So why wouldn't
all
it
the
happen
time.
in such a way that would be so influential?
Not the
to-
IMF president. No,
right.
he's too good.
Oh
of a
yeah,
person.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like, why do you think? Why do you think the
Come
DC
on, our
Madam?
own president, Monica Lewinsky. Do we already forget about that?
Well, what about DC? What about the DC Madam? Who
Well,
had all the
Larry
names?
Sinclair, Obama.
All these people, all these real, really sick, twisted people that had prostitutes, and she got killed, Paul free. She went actually on Alex Jones' show, and he pleaded her to go public with this information, and she says, "Listen, no, I'm gonna go. I'm not. I'm gonna go visit my family or something." And then she said, "You know," he said, "Ed, you're not gonna kill yourself, right? Because Gary Webb killed himself supposedly. All these people supposedly killed themselves. No, I have no intention of killing myself.
Oh,
3 days later, or whatever it was, they found her." Hanging
Suicide.
in a barn on her parents' property or something.
Yeah, and I'm sure she did it herself
Yeah.
too.
She hung herself, yeah, because of, well, I guess probably because of all the names in that book, you know, she couldn't deal with the stress, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then wait, before we get off of that,
But that's naturally old news. That's
We
not
can't-
this year.
Another one is the Governor Arnold.
Oh,
over
the
there.
Governor, yeah.
That was this year. He got in trouble.
That's right.
In
Little
trouble
old Governor at the
Getting
end.
with the housekeeper over there.
I would like you.
While he was in office, they said he was with the housekeeper, had a kid with her.
I think he was having sex with her. He was banging her while Maria was in the house. He was banging her while that's pretty sick, you know.
His only job is the same job he's always been, which is to read the lines that they give him.
I am an
And
actor,
it's, you know,
with good body.
Anytime an actor gets a position of political power, you got to think, wow, you know, they must have his lines set up already for him. You know what I mean?
Well, even
But you
before
must
he
be
was
a
famous,
conspiracy theorist. How can you say this?
before he was famous, he was already saying
Ronald
he was
Reagan?
going to get into
Yeah, Reagan. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, Reagan had some. Listen, Reagan is another one. Like actually, sort of like
Did you ever
Kennedy,
see- did
who
you ever
had his
see-
ideas, and they said no, and they gave him a message.
Have you ever seen like
An MK Ultra
public
message.
the public messages that he did back in like the
Yeah,
50s?
about the communism.
Yeah. Holy cow, that was crazy.
Yeah. It's incredible. But all right, keep going down the tyranny there, Vinny.
So
So much tyranny
Then
this
there was
year.
a guy, Chris Lee, who was a New York representative, in trouble on Craigslist, talking to girls, sending bathroom mirror shots and flexing shots.
Interesting.
Nevada Senator John
All right.
Ensign cheating on with his best friend's wife. Good
Nice.
guy. And yeah, so it was a
Keeping
year,
it close,
It
you
was
know.
a year of a lot of politicians getting caught.
Yeah, a lot of. Well, they always get caught.
Yeah, this was a fun year for that. I noticed, and the Herman Cain, of course.
Herman Cain.
John Kerry. No, John Edwards.
John Edwards, whose wife
Right,
died.
having a child with someone.
Yep.
You know, and now he has the child with someone else. Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. We are animals, unfortunately.
I don't consider myself with them.
No, well, you know, I mean, as far as our behaviors, you know, as much as we say it's easy to be faithful, it's not necessarily easy.
Well, no, I'm just saying there's a lot of the stuff you're talking about there is actually morally wrong, but there's just actual tyranny where we're talking about, you know, like you have, for example, the law that just passed, S 1867, Section 1031 and 1032, which is going to go into law, and they're going to give us another war is peace. You know, don't worry about it. Actually, Obama's going to do some sweet layup, and he's going to, you know, don't worry, everything's cool. You know, come on, America. What do you think? We're going to be putting you into prisons, into FEMA camps? Ha ha ha! No way. So you know, people will just pay attention to that and let it go, and that's one example. I mean, there's so many. My God, the year in review here.
So yeah, with some other stuff. big things was, of course, the Fukushima.
Fukushima is probably the
was
biggest
big.
tyranny of all because they're lying and saying that it's safe, raising the acceptable standard levels just because it's high. I mean, only a moron with like, I mean, I don't know, even somebody with a third grade intelligence could understand, a third grader could understand that if it was this way and it's not safe, anything above that, and then you say, well, when you make it higher, well, then it's safe now. I mean, that is Orwellian. You see that, and the people just believe it. And then you say, well, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, they said that. They raised the acceptable levels, so don't worry about it. Buy your seafood. Don't worry about it. Buy everything that you can from the sea. Don't worry about core exit B down in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, get that shrimp, go down there like they're all those public service messages that BP Oil, who by the way is owned by the Rockefeller and Queen of England,
Rothschild?
the Rothschilds as well, that whole crown, that whole area. Now, understand, they're telling you to go down there, and they're paying for these commercials for the people to increase the tourism down there. So you go down there, eat your core exit B, and die of cancer in a couple of years down the road. Ooh, it's just loving. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that was a big thing. I mean, to see
Well, that's
how
the truth, man. That's what
They're
they're
gonna
doing.
get you with
They're
cancer
literally
anyway,
paying,
no matter
but
which
they're
way you look
paying
at it.
for you to go down there. They're paying for the advertising as to make up for their problems. Meanwhile, they poisoned, and everything's saying. Meanwhile, they poisoned, and everything's saying it's safe. Meanwhile, it's not safe. Come on, anybody's got to really use their
a
nuclear
nuclear
brain.
power plant exploding cannot be good in any way.
Well, that's
It's
like
that simple.
that's like we're back to eating fish out of the Gulf again. Come on.
But they're doing it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but it's core exit B. It's like, I try not to eat seafood. I try not to eat too much beef. But my wife is a PETA person. My wife's a vegetarian. She's a PETA person. Doesn't eat GMO food. We got a lot of that going on. We're waking up on that end. But I personally, I like a burger every once in a while. But I would never eat this McDonald's horse shit. It's just
It's
horrible.
not real meat anyway. So.
I don't know what it is.
Well,
It's Soylent
I
Green or
McDonald's.
something. You know.
It's
What do you
only
mean?
got to be
It's-
30%.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's McDonald's, 90% of Americans eat McDonald's. Maybe once or twice a week. Probably, right?
Doesn't make it a good
part-
thing though.
No.
It's part of the problem. Believe me.
It's horrible, too, because my son's 3 years old, and
They love it.
we'll drive by a big
Well, that's been
McDonald's.
it was like that when I was a kid too.
'Cause they're
I was the
addicted to
same
it.
way.
They put
Who
additives
didn't
in
love
it.
McDonald's?
Oh, yeah.
But now when you
And the
research,
They're
TV.
like mouthwater when
oh
they
my
see the
god!
M,
Oh man! Do you know that they put? Do you know that they put silly putty and no joke
In the chicken nuggets.
in the chicken nuggets? It's silly putty. I shit you not. The coagulant in there
Keep
is
it off.
silly putty. Silly putty because silly putty's not toxic.
Jesus
I can't. We don't make anything. This is truth. We make
Yeah, it's
nothing up
interesting.
here.
I
Absolutely.
heard that they used to put mealworms in the burgers.
Yeah, Truth
Yeah,
Talk
I didn't know
News,
that.
this is it. Happy New Year, everybody. Again, this is Howard Nema. We're hoping to connect up with, I don't know what's happening at the main station because they're just streaming some previous broadcasts and some music. But we're going to keep moving on here, looking to figure out what's going on there.
More specific. Be more specific and direct with your questions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think
Something else
Suge
is
Knight
there.
orchestrated the hit?
But anyway, going back to the year in tyranny.
Yeah.
A year of tyranny in review.
And then I'd say, another real big thing was the Osama bin Laden supposedly being killed by the Navy SEALs, and then them a couple months, like a month or two later, helicopter goes down in Afghanistan and
Well,
22
let's
SEALs.
talk about that just generally. Tyranny, when we talk about tyranny, tyranny means that it's against liberty, freedom, and the principles of the Constitution of the United States.
Mhm.
Now, as much as Osama bin Laden's hated and all of that, they get rid of these people without prosecuting them. They're assassinating these people. This is the essence of tyranny, ladies and gentlemen. And they want you to hate them. They promulgate the media to program you to hate these people over periods of time.
And that was
And this is true. Look at bin Laden. Look at Osama, Saddam Hussein. Now look at Gaddafi. Look at how they utilize and use these people to demonize them while they're doing evil tyranny. Now, in the midsection here of the show,
It's not even specific people.
I have a video
Entire-
explaining this from Bush.
entire religions of people. Like